Well, there's been a lot of talk, of AI spending this earnings season, with data centers being a huge contributor to capital expenditure forecasts. Data center market has more than doubled since 2022 to over $27 billion last year. And by 2027, it's projected to surpass $41 billion. For more, we're bringing in Peter Davoren, Chairman and CEO of Turner Construction Company. Peter, it's great to see you on set.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
So data center, listen, we talk about this space a lot on this show because it's one where investors are obviously very interested and very excited. You have a very unique line of sight there as a construction services company. So I'm curious what you're seeing, Peter. What have you seen over the past 12 months? What are you projecting ahead?
Well, we started getting into the data center building market about 15 years ago, and there was quite a ramp up over the course of the decade, especially with the hyperscalers and now with the collocators. And now what we're seeing is 30% of our backlog of over $32 billion is in the data center market, in the advanced technology market. And we believe that it's going to go up to about 40% in 26 and 27. So it's quite lucrative for us. The race for AI is still on, and we can't build them fast enough. What we need is land and power.
Well, you can't build them fast enough. So that's true here in the US. I'm also curious, as you look overseas, what are the trends you see, for example, in Europe?
It's the same. Europe and Asia, there's this race for land. There's probably easier way to get power in some of the other places outside of the United States. But the race for land and power in Europe and Asia is still extremely strong for the hyperscalers and the collocators.
There are some folks, Peter, listen, investors have been very excited about the space, and you can understand why, for good reason. You do hear some question, though, are we overbuilding at that point? To those folks, you say what?
Well, we say that, well, as the technology changes, you got to remember, when data centers were first built, they were for storage. Now they're for computing. And now AI is going to help them compute even more. So more CPUs need to be stored inside these data centers, more power is required, more HVAC is required. And I think that as technology changes and becomes more advanced, there's going to be more space needed for these data centers all around the world.
You're helping build data center for Meta, right? I'm curious, in Louisiana. I'm curious, talk about that a little bit. What's the cost of that, Peter? What's the timeline to completion?
Well, right, it's public knowledge that the project itself is $10 billion. And it's broken up into different companies building it, but it's a very, very large project, and it's very, very exciting because it's going to be very complex. There's going to be a lot of innovation that goes into that project because the owner is very innovative, and they would like to see efficiencies like they've never seen before. So it's a pretty exciting project for us and for others down in Louisiana.
And why Louisiana?
I think that was a strategic place that they've been looking at for a long time. Obviously, power is available for them, and it's just a very, very good place to be. They're not normally in urban environments. They're normally in more rural environments.
I would imagine, Peter, you are competing in a pretty competitive market. When you think about your company, what are the competitive advantages you bring to the table?
Well, I think that there are 8 million construction workers that will show up for work every day, and there's 120,000 of them in our construction sites. And what we have to do is we have to provide an environment for every construction worker to be at their best, be authentic, and be treated with respect and dignity. Eliminate hate and bias and every day, and treat people with respect and dignity by actively caring for them. We feel that this is a differentiator for us so that their facilities on the project that are as good as the facilities we have in our office. You mentioned all those folks showing up to work every day, all these construction workers, Peter. That's correct.
Obviously, Trump back in office, talking tough on immigration. There's been some questions raised about what that could mean for the construction industry. I'm curious how you think about it.
Well, we have to follow the rules. We have to follow the I-9 rules of employment, and we audit them all the time, and we make sure that everyone is legitimately working on our construction sites, and we're responsible and accountable for everybody that walks onto the site to make sure that they're legitimate.
What about, speaking of all things Trump, lots of hot talk about tariffs. I'm just curious, how are you all exposed to that, if at all?
We've experienced this before during 2016 and 2020, and since that period of time, and during the supply chain, we put 350 people on in our company that just follow materials. So right now, if you say that any construction site, 45% of the cost of the project are materials, we make sure we vet that and make sure that most of those materials come from the United States. And we do that, and we've been doing that since the first administration. So to reduce the opportunity for a tariff to be there, we're doing that constantly.
Peter, great to see you and have you on set today. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you very much.